Racing Mars.
Franklin and Marcus arrive on Mars to begin their undercover mission. Sheridan confronts Garibaldi about his behaviour.
You had one job, John.
All right.
One job. Honestly.
Sorry,
Okay.
Simon.
Right. Professionalism out the window already.
Right. Literally from the first second. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So,
What
season 4, episode 10
with
of Babylon 5.
episode 10, is it? Okay. I'm getting that error message I get every time. Never mind. Right. What do you think the title means?
I was going to ask you this because it makes no sense to me. So I didn't know if it was some form of reference to something
It's
that you were aware of.
It's bound to be a literary reference or a sci-fi reference or something.
Yeah, some form of reference to a resistance movement somewhere or smuggling something, you know, because obviously they are being smuggled into Mars at the same time as you've got the black market people meeting with Ivanova later on in the episode to talk about smuggling, like contraband and things. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's something along those lines.
Which brings us to the opening scene, which is a really nice scene, I think, with Sheridan and Ivanova talking about the fact that they're cut off from the world and they can't get what they need.
Yeah, Sheridan, he outlines the fact that the strain of being cut off from Earth supplies is going to start hitting them within the next couple of months, and that it's not just a case of food and provisions. It's going to be spare parts for the fighter jets, for the Furies, and things that they're going to be lacking. So, if they want any long term, not just sustainability in terms of being able to feed people, but also safety and stuff like that, then they need to start thinking about alternative ways of sourcing these items.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how this blockade works, but can they stop the Minbari from getting supplies to them and stuff? I don't know. I mean, I suppose the Minbari would ultimately have to get this stuff from Earth, is the problem.
Yeah.
You need specific parts and specific foodstuffs and specific medical supplies, I suppose. So Minbari would have to get it by raiding Earth ships anyway. So I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. It's all right. I'm saying that the Earth kind of that it's being blockaded from Earth, but then Earth isn't the only species living on Babylon 5. So what about the Centauri? Can they provide? They wouldn't necessarily provide provisions and things like that, but can they? Can the Narn, etc.?
I mean, I would assume.
Are there agreements between these worlds?
Yeah, I think Earth's got agreements with a lot of the higher ups on these worlds directly, and then they're probably letting like Narn ships bring Narn supplies through, but because they wouldn't really be able to justify stopping them, but they're probably stopping and searching the ships and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ivanova tells Sheridan to take a couple of days while he's got the opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know what I thought of this. I don't know.
I liked it.
I think it's just, I think Ivanova's a bit too casual with her commander. I think she needs to fall in line a little bit more.
I think they know each other.
That's what it is.
Well enough.
Yeah, they've been through enough. But it was just that kind of take a break. Oh, I don't want to. And it's like, I'm going to make you.
Yeah, but he knew she was right. When she when she set out her stall, he did know she was right, I think.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. Yeah. So kind of another takeaway from this is that Ivanova is she's going to meet with these black market suppliers to try and figure out kind of agreements between them of supplying Babylon 5, despite Sheridan saying that it's clearly going to be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
And dangerous thing not just for them, but for the traders as well.
Yeah. And of course, she does it as well. She says she takes the sort of blame off him, which he's quite happy to accept.
Yeah, it's like, go and do it.
Yeah,
it's fine. Do whatever you want.
You get court-martialed. I don't
care. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Be thrown in jail for the rest of your life. It's okay.
And then they mention Franklin and Marcus, which segues us to them playing I Spy on
Mm.
their cargo
On,
ship that they're
on an
stowing away
empty cargo ship.
on. Yeah. Do you like Franklin in this scene with him getting wound up by Marcus?
I
Is he a more likable Franklin for you?
I kind of got why he was getting wound up, to be honest.
No, as much as we like Marcus, being alone with him for 2 weeks, he's too chirpy.
He would want. That's what I had written down, that Franklin's getting fed up with Marcus's overwhelmingly positive attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It would do my head in. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, be a realist sometimes. It's fine to be a realist.
And in all the times I've watched this before, I don't think I've ever realised that during this game of I Spy, we find a spy. I don't think I've ever made that obvious connection.
No, that's a good point.
Mm.
A spy with a terrible English accent.
I was like, where the hell is he from?
He's from America. He played the deputy in Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh, wow.
And he was also in Police Academy. He played Leslie Barbara, who may or may not have been one of the policemen.
Wait. Okay, let's have a look.
He had a moustache in Police Academy.
But I've just got, where the hell is he from written down, because it is sort of English, but
he's from Massachusetts. It goes American, goes Australian.
It's a mishmash.
I think I saw that he's from Massachusetts.
Maybe that's what they sound like on Mars sometimes.
Maybe, yeah. I just got to note down, like, I wonder what the guy that played Marcus was thinking about standing opposite this guy who was clearly struggling so much with an English accent.
Yeah. Oh, why did he have to have one? I think it's fine. I think it worked for the character. I really liked the way he spoke. I like his dialogue.
He sounded all right at first, but then he just started going way off the reservation, and it disconnected me a little bit because we're English,
yeah,
and stuff. So it makes me wonder whether Americans feel the same. You know, we watch like shows where English people do American, like Clark Kent. We watch Henry Cavill do an American accent. I'm like, yeah, that's a really good accent. But are Americans, are people from Kansas sitting there going, what is this crap?
Yeah, I don't
what
know.
is he talking? He's talking some kind of South African, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, who knows?
Never really thought. Where is Kansas exactly?
Midwest.
Right. Okay.
I think it's south central.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong. It might be north. I don't know. I don't know why I'm pretending I know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah, Captain Jack. I like his gab. I like his built for endurance. Me, pleasures of the mind and the soul. I do like him.
Is he the first captain? Any other famous Captain Jacks before this? Obviously, there's a famous one after it.
Captain Jack. Which one? Captain Jack Sparrow or Captain Jack Torchwood?
Yeah. So you got a couple after it. Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably an original Captain Jack in some old fables. I think this is all references to.
Yeah. So we then cut to Sheridan
trying to find some porn.
Yeah, or trying to find anything, basically. But everything's been blocked by Earth apart from ISN.
Yeah.
And he sees comments that Garibaldi made. Now, obviously, the episode in which ISN visited Babylon 5 was years ago for us. It was like 2 years ago that we watched that. Did we see these comments being recorded?
I think we saw it being recorded, and I think we also saw it in the episode, in the edit from ISN. I think we've seen the footage before and the actual event.
Right, okay.
I'm sure we have.
But this is the first time that Sheridan's seen it.
No, I think he's seen it before. I think he's rewatching it at this point, and it's getting to him now.
Really, the way he reacted, it definitely felt like it was.
I think the first time watching it was such an all-out assault. Like the whole thing was horrible. But I think when he sat down and watched this again, he just saw that scene again.
He suddenly had time to process it, maybe.
Yeah, and he was like, just that part. He was like, well, I haven't dealt with this one thing yet. That sort of realization that this is a big problem that he wanted to deal with came to him. I think that was what was going over his face. I'm sure he'd seen it.
It was good to see Garibaldi. We haven't seen him for years. In truth, people who were watching this as it was on hadn't seen him for like 3 weeks. So, I mean, that's my assumption. The TV movies, were they released? Was Third Space released in between episodes 8 and 9, or was it just set in between 8 and 9?
It's easy enough to find out, but
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not sure.
I thought you'd be enough of a nerd to know that, John.
Nah.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So they begin having a conversation. Sheridan storms out of his room, and Garibaldi just basically happens to be walking past there as it happens. And
in a spaceship of 250,000 people.
Yeah. And they have a...
I think he's usually in the Zocalo area, kind of. I think that's where he does his business, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's acting very standoffish to Sheridan and stuff. And we still, obviously, the mystery about Garibaldi is why he's acting like this, why he's so standoffish. We know his reasons. His reasons are that he feels like Sheridan is beginning to believe the hype about himself, but also that he is being manipulated too much by like the alien races, isn't it? Yeah. It's that he felt like this kind of secret council that Sheridan was keeping was too focused on non-human, like non-human actions and things.
I think, and yeah, he's talking about the fact that Sheridan is apparently mentioned in prophecy. Well, no, we know this already. We know this. Garibaldi was there with the War Without End and everything.
Yeah.
And he's worried about it's all becoming a cult of personality.
Yeah, I did think of CM Punk when he said that.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned it just now. What does Garibaldi do? I can't remember.
What do you mean? What's he do?
What does he do? What's his job now? Is he like a private detective, or
he's part private? He's basically a private detective. He finds things, information, people,
right? Okay,
items that have gone missing during the various wars.
Right. He's a procurer.
He's an all-round sort of into sort of dodgy but legal sort of.
Right.
He's a gumshoe.
Yeah. Okay. He's a space age gumshoe.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just could not remember what he did, but I don't know if you remember from listening to our old shows, but I never really liked Garibaldi. Garibaldi was the character that I didn't like because it felt like they were writing him to be likable with his Daffy Duck stuff and the fact that he was into current, not necessarily, well, I mean, it might have been current back. Basically, it was almost as if his culture was the same culture as ours, like, or not necessarily like mine or yours, but the same as somebody his age in the 90s. It looked like he was a 1970s, 1960s born person who just happened to be placed in the 20 whatever it was.
Yeah,
I can't remember when this is set.
So he's the relatable one.
Yeah, and I always
likes motorbikes.
Yeah, he likes motorbikes and Daffy Duck and things like that. I always had a problem with him and with that, and I find him a lot more likable now that he's pissed off and that he's angry and getting aggressive and punching people.
What's his? Why have I forgotten his first name all of a sudden?
Michael.
Yeah, it's Dark Michael now.
Michael. Yes.
Yeah. Huh. So we go back. Oh no, and then they don't have a fight here today. But Sheridan does lose it.
They don't have a fight here. But Sheridan does lose it. Sheridan shouts at him, and as
we
Sheridan,
don't see Sheridan lose it that often like that.
No, and that I quite like that actually because we talked about before that one of the things that's not very likable about Bruce Boxleitner is he's always smiling. He's one of those people that even when someone's shouting at him and having a go at him, he's like got a grin on his face.
Or if he's shouting, he's got happy about it somehow.
Yeah. Whereas this felt serious. Like,
Didn't seem angry.
yeah, he was acting very aggressively in the
Mm.
conversation and stuff, to the point where I was quite surprised because it felt a little bit out of character. But then, considering what he's been through,
yeah,
you could possibly expect it. I enjoyed it. When Garibaldi walked away, it focused on 3 evil, suspicious-looking men in the background.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Never seen an evil, suspicious-looking man around here before.
No. And then we go back to the Jason.
Jack. What are you talking
Marcus.
about? Marcus.
The actor's name is Jason.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And
I forgive you.
Franklin and Jack. And this is a bit with all the rations and the food, isn't it?
Mm, yeah. And the identity cards.
Don't know if you'll remember this, but Marcus does know how to open a meal bar, unlike Garibaldi and Franklin.
No.
In that previous episode where they...
No.
Because we talked about it on the podcast, and they just...
where he's trying for ages to rip it open, and we just couldn't figure out why they were doing it like that. Yeah. It was one of the strangely funniest things that they've done on the show.
Yeah. Marcus does know how to open these bars. Captain Jack's got nice sort of auto heating sort of space.
Wonder Woman mugs.
Yes, JLA mug.
Oh,
it was yellow earlier. It changes colour when it's
nice. Oh, very nice.
And then he gives away his position as their contact.
Yes, indeed.
By singing a little rhyme about Lita.
Lita, yeah, something about Lita and Forlons.
Lita had a little Forlon.
Oh, yeah, it was like Mary had a little lamb, wasn't it?
Yeah,
basically.
so.
Yeah. So they get given ID cards, fake ID cards, and they are given the identities of a married gay couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I quite like this. And I quite liked, because it felt, I know, maybe it's silly to me, maybe I'm completely wrong, but that probably would have felt fairly progressive in the early 90s. Like, it wasn't played over. It was a little bit jokey but it wasn't played overly for laughs. The fact that they had these identities. Marcus had a few comments, but then Marcus is quite camp anyway.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked.
Marcus ran with it throughout the entire episode.
But alternatively, it's not like Franklin was getting annoyed by it. Most other shows would have it like Marcus is really comfortable with it, but Franklin feels really on edge and a little bit strange because of it. Whereas Franklin was just another thing about Marcus's personality that Franklin was getting annoyed about.
Yeah. I did think, would we have this joke now? I did think, like, at the time, I thought, in the future, would that even be almost worth commenting on, sort of thing? But I think the way they played it, it worked fine. I think it's aged. Because obviously the joke is that that's uncomfortable for them to... but not in a negative way. Just the way they played it, I think, was right. But I did find myself wondering if that was a sort of a bygone era thing. I mean, it depends on the types of characters, I suppose. But then, I don't know. You just assume that stuff like that, people wouldn't bat an eyelid in a couple of 100 years. But then, who knows?
Oh, they definitely still will.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, if this whole world isn't destroyed in a few 100 years. And
then we have... do we have Garibaldi again next?
Yeah, this is where the evil, suspicious-looking men who have now multiplied into 5 or 4 evil, suspicious-looking men. The
lead one being Corey Feldman.
Oh, what? He wasn't actually Corey Feldman, was he?
I don't think so.
But he did, yeah.
I did find that really funny. And he spoke a bit like him as well.
So, we didn't actually find out who these people were, did we? It's just the fact that they are clearly against Sheridan.
Yes, that's all we really know. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything given away by their uniform that we know about, like whether they're Night Watch or...
No.
Wasn't there something called like the Ministry of Truth or something? Again, this is because we've taken this 2-year break. We might struggle with some of these details, but no. He's a ridiculously unthreatening man, this person.
Yeah, but that's fine because he does have heavies behind him.
Garibaldi, with just the line of the episode, the guy goes like, "What have we got in common?" And he goes, "I don't know, besides both of us sleeping with your sister."
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All the dialogue in this episode's really good. I really enjoyed it for that. A lot better
Well,
than the last one we watched.
but that kind of also plays into what I said I like about Garibaldi. Like he's a bit surlier now
Mm.
and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
for a start, he's just argumentative, but he's not willing to take any crap from
Mm.
people and stuff. So yeah, I thought that bit was just really funny, and I don't know what I think about. I don't find that group of people particularly interesting
Mm.
from what I've seen, but then it depends on where it goes with Garibaldi
Yeah.
stuff.
Um, I think next we go back to Mars and we find out that Jack doesn't even know that there's been a huge interplanetary galactic war on, because they have been also quarantined and shut off
Mm.
quite effectively, I suppose, being as close as they are to Earth, and
Yeah,
they
they
don't know
basically
anything.
think that they've been abandoned
Yeah,
and stuff, and they talk about how pilots would just come through and they'd hear stories about some crazy stories like
yeah,
in from far off places, and they'd just be like, oh well, silly pirates, almost in the same way that you'd hear, well, pirates back in the olden days talking about their crazy adventures
mm.
in the taverns while they were drunk
Or
stuff.
fighting sea monsters and
Exactly, basically
yeah,
like Captain Jack.
yeah. Okay,
You know, yeah. See, all comes around, John. Tie it all back in
yeah.
together.
We get Ivanova with a motley, just sort of really generic-looking motley crew of smugglers and stuff. I think at least two of whom played vampires in Buffy.
Okay, good spot.
The
Good
sort
spot.
of albino bald one at the one end, and the mean looking one that comes onto Ivanova at the end of the scene.
Okay, I have to go back and watch and then try and guess the episodes of Buffy they were in. And yeah, it's one of those things where these people did they just plan to look this disheveled?
Mm.
These smugglers, is that part of the job?
Yeah,
I mean, that's part of the reason why Han Solo was cool, because he was so suave.
mm.
You know, he was a smuggler, but he wasn't dirty.
He was scruffy looking.
And a nerve herder.
Yeah, um, and so she basically makes a deal, armistice, but also sort of threatens and bullies them into helping
Yeah.
Babylon 5 get hold of supplies from Earth.
So what is it? We will repair your ships. We will keep your ships fueled up. We will give you everything you need. Um, yeah, we
Or
will
shoot
repair
you.
you. Yeah, we will repair your ships if they're broken. What will you do if we don't? Oh, we'll shoot your ships, so they need to be repaired.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah. I
yeah.
thought that. Don't know where it's going. Um, just have to wait and see with that one.
Oh, I don't necessarily think that's going to be a longer plot arc. I think that's just them solving
Well, you
one of
know
the
this,
many
John.
problems.
I don't necessarily
Yeah,
see this. You've seen it before.
it's been a long time. I,
Yeah.
I, I think this is probably just one of many scenes of them sort of being shown to be dealing with the numerous problems that would
Right.
realistically occur in this situation.
A way of plotting out logically how they would survive this blockade and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
brings me to my next point, actually, because we get a load of stuff now on Mars where Franklin and Marcus run into some trouble with the
Hmm.
resistance people they've run into. And like we were just saying about that just now, I really like how seriously this has been taken in terms of the writing. And I mean, realistically, I don't know how realistic. I don't know anything about how resistance movements work, but this strikes me as really realistic, like the extreme levels of distrust and the fact that they are willing to just kill them and dump the bodies without
Hmm.
really a second's hesitation.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, Babylon 5, yay. It's
Yeah,
like, right, we aren't going to trust you even if you do say you're from Babylon 5. We're not
yeah,
probably not even going to trust you even if we confirm you're from Babylon 5.
yeah,
Yeah. And it was because they'd heard about assassins being sent from the outer rim,
well,
wasn't it, or something?
they'd had they'd had a warning about somebody being sent to kill number one,
Yes.
and at the same time they'd only received partial messages from Babylon 5 regarding who was coming.
Right, so they didn't know who was who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
just really liked. It was a believable setup to me, that whole movement and how they communicated and how they were operating.
Yeah, that's cool.
Basically, the guy just takes off their cards to do some background checks.
Yep, on the old Resistance computer, connected to all the databases, all of them, every database somehow.
Yeah.
How do they confirm they're from Babylon 5 with those ID cards? I mean, they're not meant to be carrying their own ID cards, are they?
No, that wouldn't make any sense. I did think that. Why? Surely you'd leave them behind because you're supposed to be
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they said something about a blood sample and ID cards.
But my main, yeah, go on.
But my main thing was about how would they have access to those databases and stuff.
Yeah, it's just especially with the blockade, and I don't know. They probably got hackers that have got them a pipeline through the intergalactic interweb or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let that go.
So
I'll let that one go.
Delenn and Sheridan in the garden talking about. No,
phased out. No, Delenn. She started talking about something. When Delenn goes on her little conversations about spiritual, like the spirituality of like Minbari and stuff, I'm like, oh no, I didn't pay attention. As soon as she got up and left, I was just like, right, okay, I'm back. Well, which is going to make it. If there are important things that happen with her, it's when she talks to Sheridan especially. Yeah. Because it's just not something I'm interested in. So I hope nothing really important happens.
She's all right when she's on her own or with someone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it as well. But basically, she's saying we'll have sex tonight.
Okay.
I don't know what I assume.
Yeah, no, I got that from the later scene.
I assume that would be the first time. I don't know. I think it's been hinted at before. Actually, I think they have before. I think we've been shown them going to.
No, but wasn't that one of the nights of them?
No, I think there was her in the doorway wearing lingerie and him following her into a room type scene at some point.
Okay.
Like a season ago or something, I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even have that stuff written on my notes. That's how little I paid attention to it. I would not have remembered that scene happened.
I did quite like. Okay, I did. We'll come back to this. I did quite like part of the payoff.
Yeah,
we go back to Mars where we find out that that the ID cards don't check out, and they're going to get killed, Marcus and Franklin. And number one comes along because something's not sitting right with her. I always feel like I recognise her for some reason, but I don't think I've.
No, I thought I did as well.
But this,
maybe she was just generic 90s.
There's something about her voice as well. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know why I was doing that.
Easy enough to find out again, I suppose.
Yeah, if only there was some kind of movie database on the internet, John.
And we find out that Jack's been taken over by a keeper. So one of these things that I think we've only seen before on Londo.
Have we? Is this the thing that was controlling him in the future?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It's basically like a sort of face hugger.
Yeah. A parasite that just controls him. It's like the things in Buffy that hatch out of the eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact.
Oh my God! You scared me.
That's bizarre that you said that, because I think that the guy that was said to Ivanova, "Are you seeing anyone at the moment?" is one of the cowboy vampires, the two brothers.
Oh yeah.
Appear in that episode.
Okay, interesting.
I'm sure it is.
Maybe we should confirm.
That's crazy that just came through full set.
Yeah. Thanks for shouting in my ear, though, John.
Sorry, I got overly excited. So yeah, they managed to sort of kill the creature. What do you think they do? And Jack runs off. Franklin saves number one's life, getting her sort of
on side.
Yeah. Want to find out who she is now? I will find out shortly. So, anything else to say about this?
So what happens in between? So we obviously see more Jack. What happens in between? So they find the alien. They kill the alien.
I think they kill it in when he was
Oh
when just
no!
after he'd
Did
gone
they?
to shoot number
Oh
one, they shot it off his shoulder.
yeah, yeah. And then Franklin basically does a little alien autopsy on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I believe it's at the same time, number one is in communication with Jack, who's put himself onto a tube train, a little shuttle,
Yes.
by himself, and he's got some kind of bomb. And he's explaining that he was visited by aliens, he was taken over. He's tried to get rid of it before, I believe, or it's been
Yeah, he says
it's
it always
been
grows
killed
back.
before.
So he's tried to. I think he's tried to.
Yeah,
kill it before.
anything that gets left in him just regenerates, and then he blows himself up with a grenade.
Yeah.
Very serious. Yeah, it's really
Quite
good.
sad because he was a cool character. What we
Yeah.
knew of him.
And it kind of played into this whole thing about the seriousness of the resistance. Like they're willing to kill themselves and stuff. That's how important it is to them. He could have easily just returned himself to them, and they could have kept him under observation. Franklin could have tried to find a way to save him and stuff, but no, his way out that he saw was to commit suicide.
And he gave away the situation he was in by these subtle clues to Franklin, including this picture of his daughter, which had her address, so that he could get in touch with her. But that did explain why Franklin was looking at this picture of this 18-year-old girl for like a really uncomfortably long time. So I was starting to think, dude, give it back. It's like a little bit creepy now.
Yeah.
But obviously he was sort of having this sort of realization. So Lyle Gorch, right?
What's this? Oh, this is the guy from Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he in it?
Jeremy Ratchford, I believe his name is.
Okay. Is he in Babylon 5?
Babylon 5.
Racing Mars.
He's got to be, but let's have a look. Oh no,
Let's not have any dead air, John. Did you get what? Is it the other one? Maybe.
Oh, what's the other one called? The other one is Texter. No, Lyle.
No, you just said this one was Lyle.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
This is awesome. No people
John,
like this.
Yeah,
anyway, it doesn't matter. That's the best bit.
Yeah. Who cares? So we then get Garibaldi and Sheridan have another little meeting.
Yes.
In the Zocalo, isn't it?
Yeah. Now I tuned out for a little second here. Did an alien come over and start fawning over Sheridan? Is that what happened? An alien
started.
lady?
Yeah, she started asking for his blessing. She's like, "Oh, you're Sheridan. You survived. Blah 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 blah. You're written in the scriptures, etc." Asking for his blessings, and then my favorite line was Garibaldi picked her up and went, "He's not the Pope. He doesn't look anything like her."
Yeah,
and I thought that was quite cool because it was so subtly done to do the kind of like the female Pope thing. I just thought it was a nice little line and stuff like that.
He actually picked her up.
Oh yeah, he well that's what led Sheridan to punch him, because he grabbed her by the shoulders, dragged her up, started shaking her, and pulling her away from Sheridan.
Garibaldi slugged Sheridan.
Yeah, no, Sheridan. Garibaldi picked her up.
Right.
And went, "He's not anything like her."
Yeah.
And then Sheridan tried to pull Garibaldi off of her, and then Garibaldi punched Sheridan.
Right.
Did I get it mixed up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Garibaldi started shouting, pulled her off of him. Yeah.
So it's Sheridan that ends up on the floor, and he basically says, "You can have that one." Again, he looks really pissed off, and again, I don't think we saw him look this angry when he was fighting the shadows.
Probably the best.
I think it's because this is personal. I think deep down he kind of enjoyed.
Well, because he likes, or because because he's a soldier. He's like a war hero and stuff like that. Whereas this is somebody that he trusted. This is somebody who he would have entrusted his life with.
Yeah.
And now he would hope that Garibaldi would have trusted him as well. and now that's been shattered and things. Very good punch. This show
Yeah.
is normally terrible with
Mm.
TV punches, but this one
Yeah.
was actually quite good.
I don't know if it was this show. I always think that was specifically Sinclair. Sinclair's big sort of.
Oh no, because there was a. I don't know actually, because Marcus has had a couple of well
He's
choreographed,
had
but
some
no,
fights.
don't you remember the awful Naan fight?
Oh, with
Yeah.
yeah, possibly.
So yeah, it's
Star Trek, where in Star Trek: The Next Generation, everyone has to do like a two-handed.
yeah. Oh god,
The
when
most ridiculous fighting move ever, especially Riker.
and what's her name? The blonde woman with the short hair.
Which
Somebody is somebody Crosby.
Tasha Yar?
Yeah, when she got into fights, she used to do the double axe
Oh,
handle
right.
as well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get the first payoff to the Sheridan Delenn joke, which I kind of liked.
Which is that this supposedly private night has to occur in front of not necessarily in front of, but with a group of Minbari listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was quite funny. I kind of wanted Sheridan and thought he was going to deny it in the end. I thought he was going to say, look, this is too far away from my culture and it's supposed to be give and take. This is something I
That's
just can't
a good
do.
point.
Yeah.
Delenn, she seems to be asking an awful lot and not really kind of like understanding that Sheridan might feel uncomfortable with some of this.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, she's not really Minbari anymore. So
yeah, but there's still yeah. So why does she
have to slavishly follow all of the sage?
Yeah, but I suppose her mind is.
Yeah.
You know, her history is Minbari. She's been raised to believe in these
but if
these
they are doing
cultural acts and things.
If they are doing a cultural melding, they should do more melding and less of the crazy over the top Minbari.
Yeah, like Sheridan should take her out for steak and chips or something.
Yeah. And I didn't like the second payoff, which was in the lift with Woohoo. I would have liked the lift scene about it, or maybe with Ethan saying something else, but I can't.
I think it would have worked better if nothing had been said, and Lanier just gave him a look, or something. Yeah, and then Sheridan just deadpanned it or something.
Yeah, like Sheridan just gave him, Lanier gave him like a respectful nod or something, or either that or something, smirking or something. But Woohoo is that's one of those moments where JMS's slightly strange old man, plus the old man humor comes out for a second.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
And then we've got another Marcus and Franklin scene, but I don't remember what exactly happened. I've just got that Marcus is still running with this gag about the newlyweds thing. Oh, it's because they're talking about they're going to go up to the surface and go to a hotel, and they've got the suite, and Marcus is talking about the kids.
Yeah, they have to, because they have to wait to meet the other resistance leaders.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to be there for a while, basically. Yeah. And then the last scene, I believe it's the last scene, is Garibaldi again meeting with these evil, suspicious-looking men.
Yeah.
And they again tried to get him on side with trying to turn against Sheridan, and he agrees. He agrees to join them, and that's the end of the episode. It's a very sudden end to the episode. Yeah.
I know. I thought it was much more like what I want from Babylon 5 this episode. I was hoping that in the intervening years I hadn't gone off it, and that last week's was just a disappointment, and that does seem to be the case. So that's cool.
Last week's, like 3 weeks ago, John.
The last episode.
Yeah. Again, I know that for the people who watched this at the time, it was only a couple of weeks ago, potentially, but I'm beginning to miss Londo a bit.
Have we not seen him?
Not seen him since it returned. We saw Jakar last episode because he got his cybernetic eye. We haven't seen Londo. We've not seen Veer, I don't believe.
Are they both still on?
Can't remember.
Okay.
Can't remember.
Cool.
So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got straight down to business today, and I think we've pretty much covered everything. Do you want to tell people how they can send us emails and shit?
Yeah, at Whipping on Twitter, or you can email us, whippingboys@gmail.com. You can leave some comments on YouTube as well, and we will answer them. We may answer them. There's no guarantee, I'll be honest. But they're very much appreciated. We love you all.
We don't really put a lot of effort into managing this ship, do we?
No.
But we like comments. We'll read them on the show if we know we've got them.
Yeah, John, we both enjoy talking about shows, but let's face it, neither of us are particularly social people. So social media is not our strong point.
Yeah, don't really like people.
We did have a comment from a gentleman. I don't know if you remember his name, since you said about we'll read them out on the show. Now I've just remembered that we got one. Are you able to get it?
No, I don't know how to.
Okay, give me a second, John. You talk about the next episode while I have a look.
The next episode, for some reason, I know is called Lines of Communication, but I don't know anything else about it, so you better hurry up.
Okay, Oberon CAS. Thank you for bringing this back, for returning.
Ah, cool. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. So episode 11, we'll be back with that probably when we can do it.
Yeah. Scheduling.
Yes. John's a busy man.
Yes.
Blame on him. Right, thank you and goodbye.